those I haven't met before, my name is Flanary. I had the privilege of working for Rally for about 2 years before I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina. But I am a cancer survivor. So to give you, thank you. So to give you a little bit of context, I was my parents' first child. I was the first grandchild. So when my parents received the news on an August day in 1989 that I had leukemia, our whole family's world turned upside down. So of course we started treatment as soon as possible. And it's funny, when people are talking to me about my experience, one of the main questions that come up is, well, you were 2, you don't remember it, right? So there are things I don't remember, but there are a lot of things I do. I remember having play dates with my friends in the playroom of the hospital, all of us hooked up to our IVs with our little carts pulling behind us. I remember celebrating my 3rd birthday in the hospital. I remember some of my friends that weren't as fortunate in their battle against cancer who we lost while I was there. And the absolute worst, I remember the spinal taps. You see, back then, they didn't fully sedate you. They just numbed the area that they were accessing. So even as a 3-year-old, I knew the drill. You go into the hospital room, you climb up on the bed, and you curl up in the fetal position like the doctor had told you. Wait for them to come in, put the numbing patch on, and then as a 3-year-old, remind you, sit still for 30 minutes while that numbing solution kicked in. Then hold your mom's hand as the doctor comes in and accesses your spine. Now, an important piece of my treatment to know is early on, my parents were approached about a clinical trial that was available for me. And after a lot of tough decisions and conversations, they decided to go for it. And thank God they did. After 3 years of treatment, I was cancer-free. And as I mentioned, stand here today, 20+ years later, still cancer-free. So fast forward those 20-something years, and I'm working at Rally, and through them have the privilege of going to Emory University's survivorship clinic. For those that who are not familiar with it, it's a great option for cancer survivors. They're able to go, learn about their treatment, the risks, and also the long-term side effects. As we've touched on tonight, oftentimes when children are diagnosed with cancer and treated for it, the long-term side effects afterwards can be just as debilitating as the treatment itself. I, on the other hand, received some great news. I found out that the clinical trial I was on is actually now the standard protocol for any child who is diagnosed with the type of leukemia that I had. So to put some numbers behind that, when I was diagnosed, the survival rate was around 20%. So now, in just 20 years of incredible research and medicine, that survival rate is almost at 90%, which is incredible. So the unfortunate side of that, and why I'm standing up here today, is that's one of the few types of childhood cancers where that percentage is high. Unfortunately, a lot of the others are where my type of cancer was 20 years ago. So I'm segueing into one of my favorite parts of this event, which is Sponsor a Child. It's where, if you haven't found something in the silent or live auction that strikes your fancy, but you still want to give, we're going to go through a couple different levels of donations, big and small. Anything you can donate makes a difference. So we ask you to rally together and find that place in your heart to make a donation. And if you have trouble finding that place in your heart, I'm going to ask Miss Tori to come up so everyone can be reminded of that sweet face. Thank you. And I just want to say, I'm really standing here as a testament to the importance of research and why you are all here today. If it weren't for that clinical trial, I may not be here. If it weren't for the research, boys and girls who on this Friday night might be at a football game with their family or having a sleepover with their girlfriends may never have had that chance. So thank you in advance for finding that place in your heart for Tori, for myself, so that all kids who are fighting cancer have a chance at an amazing life. Thanks.